Hi everyone, welcome back to the channel and welcome to another energy reading. I'm not quite sure what this is going to turn out to be, but you guys will know before I do by seeing the title. So a quick announcement before we get started, and I do have some channeled messages, so the reading will be time-stamped. I'll have some channeled messages prior to the reading, but a quick announcement. So things are really picking up in the physical for my ascension journey and my connection, and I'm trying to balance out my work and my personal life and all the healing that is happening, as well as all the ascension symptoms that I am experiencing at this current moment. So please bear with me and thank you for your patience and continuing to be here with me. I know these readings are going to be a little bit sporadic going forward over the next few weeks as things are changing and shifting in my physical world. Going through kind of a big life change with my connection, for myself. So things are really shifting for me, and I really appreciate your community and your continued support and patience. You continuing to be here, I really appreciate that. If you do feel like you are ready to move on from my readings and my teachings, I really wish you the best and want to thank you for the honor of being a part of your journey this far. It really is an honor to read for you guys. It really is an honor and a privilege, both personally for clients, for the collective, for the Patreon subscribers. It really is an honor to read for you and bring forth these messages for you. And, you know, I've formed some great friendships with you guys as a result, and I am always humbled and very, very grateful for that. So if you want to continue to hang in there with me, I really appreciate it. Hit that subscribe button. That way, and that little bell, that way you know when new videos are uploaded. I will continue to have the dailies as well. Just these collective readings, I'm not quite sure when I'll have them, but they will continue to be, you know, I'll still continue to make that priority. But if you do feel like it is time for you to move on, I really want to thank you for being a part of the journey with me, part of this community thus far, and thank you for that honor of being a part of your journey. So, I do have some channeled messages. Here's what's interesting. So, as you guys know, I've spent a majority of my relationship, my connection with my divine counterpart in physical proximity. That is how we chose, I guess, to heal on this path. We weren't always together. We met when we were very, very young. And then we were activated on the ascension twin flame path back in 2017. And we have, for the most part, been in physical proximity, in friendship, relationship since then, with some periods of separation here and there throughout the years. The past month, we have barely left each other's side. And what I channeled with that specifically is you guys are coming in, and this is from the collective as well, me being part of the collective, coming into sacred union, coming into communication, coming into physical partnership or relationship, whatever that might look like for you, that next level of your relationship, coming into understanding and awareness of your connection, a higher level of awareness of your connection, what it means for your life journey, for your life purpose. And more than that, what I channeled today came out of the blue was you are at the level in your union when you're coming into reunion, physical reunion and communication with your physical partnership, with your connection, with your divine counterpart. As you continue going deeper into the process of sacred union, remember, inner union first, then sacred union with a partner, with another person. As you go deeper and deeper into that sacred union, you're going to be activating other twins, other divine counterparts or sacred partners, whatever it is you want to call it, whatever the label. You're going to be activating other twins and other people in general for their awakening. You and your divine counterpart, well, okay, so they're saying twofold. You coming into inner union is powerful in and of itself. That in and of itself activates your connection with your divine counterpart, or I should say it deepens your connection with your divine counterpart. But the two of you, the more you come into that sacred union with each other, you're going to be activating those around you to either be meeting their divine counterpart, beginning their ascension journey, or beginning their spiritual awakening. Wherever they are on their journey and their individual soul growth journeys, you and your divine counterpart coming to sacred union is helping them, because your vibrations are so high that your vibrations are actually activating those around you to rise up as well. So that message came in just about maybe just a couple of hours ago, and it was kind of shocking, to be frank, a little bit of a surprise. It wasn't anything that I don't think I didn't already know, because, that just seems normal. It seems like that would be the next natural step for the next activation or the next wave of twins to come into being. But it's not just other twins, it's other people awakening and ascending. Now, this isn't you going out and lecturing. This is just your essence. This is just your vibration. This is just you embodying that love, embodying that sovereignty, embodying that true authentic self of who you are. You embodying that light, you embodying that love. Just by you being who you are, you're going to be activating those around you. And because you're coming together in sacred union with your counterpart who's doing the same, that energy is so incredibly strong that it's activating those around you in your immediate vicinity. So this could be friends, this could be family, this could be coworkers. So you might start to see them dive into spirituality where maybe they weren't spiritual before. They might be diving deeper. They might be seeing signs, synchronicities. I'm actually hearing that you might see them going through a little bit of a dark night of the soul. You might see them talking about having met somebody and the energy felt out of this world. Everything that you experienced in the beginning of your journey, you might start seeing that happening in those around you. And if you don't, that's fine too, but understand that even if you're not seeing it, your energy is still activating those around you. So really interesting message that was coming forth here. And it's because it's a time of sacred unions. We've been channeling that for the past few months. August, September, October is the time frame where they gave me physical reconciliations, physical reunions, physical partnerships, leveling up, so to speak, in your connection with counterparts in your sacred union journey. And it's because of the inner work that you were doing. Never, ever, ever negate the inner work that you're doing. It's because you're coming into inner union with yourself that you're experiencing that outer union with your sacred partner. I also want to say we are going through a very tumultuous time. You might feel like we have been channeling, July feels a little bit calmer as far as the energies, but you still might be going through extremes. Like you might be experiencing high highs, such as bliss, euphoria, crying, tears of happiness, that kind of thing. Just feeling so much love, unconditional love in your heart. Heart expansions is what they're saying. And you might be experiencing doubt and fears coming up back to the surface. I know that the more time my divine counterpart and I spent together, the more old fears started coming back up. And I was like, what is going on? I recognized it. My awareness, my consciousness is at such a place where I was able to recognize that I was not embodying my highest self sometimes when we were interacting. And I would say, what is going on? Because I wasn't feeling balanced within myself. I wasn't feeling that sense of peace. I was reacting like I was the old Susan from maybe a year or two ago. Still having those reactions, still having those doubts and those fears. And I said, something's up. And I had a healing session. It was divine timing. I had a healing session with a dear friend of mine, and it was, in fact, old stuff that was coming up. And it's because my chakras are aligning with my divine counterparts. And when that happens, the energy is so strong that it is bringing up anything that is still lodged in the subconscious, whether this be past lifetimes, trauma, any heartbreak, any heartache, either from this lifetime or past lifetimes. Anything that's still lodged in the subconscious is being brought up to the surface again. So it might feel like it's old, but you're different. You're still transformed. And that's really important to remember. And you have that new level of awareness. You have that higher level of consciousness where you can transmute that, where you can be aware of that and say, wait a minute. I recognize this. I recognize this as fear. I recognize that this is not love. I recognize that this is not who I am anymore. I recognize these thoughts. I recognize these emotions as just thoughts, as emotions, that they are not me. And I don't have to attach a story to them. And so with that shift, you can shift your energy. And for me, I actually had a friend do energy healing work for me to help me balance out because it was so bad. It was very deep. But it was old stuff that was still lodged in the subconscious. It was really old fears and old doubts and insecurities from past lifetimes that were still kind of lingering. So we were working on clearing that, and I recognized that. And once I came back to the love, it was like a breath of fresh air. Once I cleared that fear and just remembered the love and came back to the love, it just felt like a sigh of relief within my soul. So the thing that's important here is recognizing that you have that level of awareness and that higher consciousness to understand and recognize what is happening. So then you can actively choose how you want to transmute and transmute that and clear that energy out, so that you're not, stuck in it. So that you're not, that's not lingering, because you have to clear out all of that soul sludge in order, almost like become empty, in order to fill back up on that love. And not the love from your divine counterpart, the love from source, the love of all, the love with all, that unity consciousness. That's what you fill back up on. That's, that's, you empty out all of that dense energy, that lower consciousness energy, and you fill up on those high vibrations. So if you are experiencing similar things, then number one, hang in there, because this is next level stuff. It really does feel like that. It's next level stuff. It's next level healing, next level clearing. Continue to do your clearing work, continue to do your chakra work, continue to do your shadow work. Continue to integrate and process, but do so from this level of awareness, from this higher level of ascension, because that is where you are. And recognize too that you have the tools now that maybe you didn't have before. So it might feel very old, it might feel like old energy, and that's because it is, but you are still a new you. You are still the transformed you. So recognize that you have the tools now from this ascended version, from this higher level of consciousness version of you. So, okay. I wanted to say that as well. What else did they give me? Oh, okay. So, sacral chakra. You guys might be feeling a very sexual magnetic pull with your counterpart. And that is because these sacred unions are coming into being, and actually in the physical relationship. And so you might be feeling drawn to your connection again. For a lot of divine feminines, over the past few months, I want to say the past 6 months, you had periods of complete detachment, complete surrender, and complete letting go. There's a sacral pull now. It feels very sexual. It might come as compassion. You might feel it in your heart chakra, actually, is what they're saying. It might come in as compassion, just a feeling of overwhelming unconditional love, or it might be coming in through the sacral chakra as sexual energy, but it's a magnetic pull towards your counterpart, and that's because you are meant to come together, and it's coming time to come together. So if you are holding back in any way, recognize the inner union that's happening within you, and recognize the masculine energy within you that's wanting to take the lead. You're not waiting for your divine masculine to take the lead, because that's not you. That's not you and your sovereignty. That's not you and your divinity waiting for somebody else. Your inner union is recognizing the balance of both your masculine and feminine energies. And so if you're wanting to take the lead, if you're feeling that intuitive pull, if you're feeling that intuition to reach out, then that's your own masculine energy that is calling for you to be bold and be brave and take action. But trust your own intuition. Trust what you are sensing. Trust, make sure it's coming from a place of love, trust in that. And if you are feeling fear, then continue to transmute that fear around that. I'm not going to go deep into that. They're bringing that up, but I'm not going to go deep into that because we've already channeled all of that in the past few readings over the past few months. I want to say from March on. So if that's resonating with you now, I would recommend going back through the past few readings on the playlist. Also, the Channeled Messages playlist, especially the Rise into Sacred Union, talks a lot about inner union. So that might be of help. I'll try to remember to put a link in the description box for you guys. But remember, all of my readings are meant to be timeless, and I do tend to channel ahead of the collective. So take what resonates for you at this time. Don't be afraid to go back and listen, even again, to readings that I've done, 3 months ago, 6 months ago. I went back and I listened to a reading from a year ago whose messages still resonate here today for me. So, you're called to what you're called to. Don't look at the timestamp. Time is truly just an illusion. It doesn't matter. You are meant to hear the messages as you're meant to hear the messages. Okay, so let's get into the reading and see what's going on with these sacred partners. I specifically want to find out what's going on with both the masculine and the feminine energies. Almost kind of, not separately since you guys are never separate. Again, we balance out the masculine and the feminine energies. We hope both of those within an inner union is balancing those out. But, let's see. I think I'm going to do a little bit of a spread for the masculine and a little bit of a spread for the feminine. So let's get the masculine first, Spirit. Let's get the masculine first. Okay. Knight of Pentacles, yeah. Let's get 3 cards, please, for the masculine. 3 cards, please, for the masculine for current energies. Current energies. 2 more cards. And 1 more card for the masculine, please. Too many. 1 more card for the masculine, please. Thank you. Okay. I want to start with the moon card first because I have a specific message. We have the Knight of Pentacles, we have the moon, and we have the Hanged Man. A specific message was coming in with the moon here. What I was feeling was, remember when I said with the sacral chakra in the channel messages section, the sacral chakra, how there's this sexual energy, that there's this magnetic pull. What I'm getting from the moon is the ocean. They're giving me the ocean and how it's almost like the ocean is magnetic. You guys, I'm having a lot of trouble with my words today. I apologize. It's like, you know how the moon is what guides the waves. The moon is what guides the ocean. It's that magnetism. It's that energy between the moon and the water. The moon is what really creates the waves, right? That's the energy that I'm getting here, that pull. And they're actually showing me the tide going in and out. It's not a push-pull energy. It doesn't feel bad. It's like this feeling of being drawn to something, being magnetized to something that, and it's being magnetized to you, towards the feminine energy is what they're saying. I feel like this is within themselves. I really feel like this is that feminine energy rising, which we've been channeling for a while. But I also feel like this is you in the physical. Like they are being drawn to you in the physical. Becoming more open. The moon is usually an energy of not everything has been revealed just yet. It's usually an energy of secrets. Something that is being kept hidden. I'm not getting that energy here. I'm getting this energy of, you see the crab rising out of the water? Almost like that. Like it's being revealed now. like what was once hidden in the depths of the ocean is now rising to the surface. They just showed me Titanic. Like those secrets, everything that was kept secret, hidden in the depths of the water, is now rising to the surface. It's their emotion, they're saying. Their emotion that's rising to the surface. And it's because of the pull, that magnetic pull towards you. You being the feminine energy, the moon being the feminine energy, is drawing them in. And because they're tapping into their feminine energy more, to their emotions more, to their intuition more, they're being drawn to you more in the physical. Now, we have the Knight of Pentacles and we have the Hanged Man as well. They are becoming much more balanced, much more stable. This could be financially stable, materially stable. They're starting to feel like they're seeing the bigger picture here, especially with this Hanged Man. They're becoming illuminated and shifting their perspective, shifting their mindset so that they can see the whole picture of their life. They can see how the past had to play out the way it did to bring them to this point. Okay, there's one other message here. Hold on. What comes after the Hanged Man? I'm not feeling that energy. Yeah, okay. That's more like it. I was feeling fire energy and I wasn't feeling those other cards. Remember, I'm an intuitive reader. I pick up on the energies versus just reading like some other readers might. Okay, so they're feeling much more stable in themselves. Where they were not feeling stable, where they were not feeling grounded, it was causing a lot of upheaval in their life. And they were really blocking themselves off. They were really kind of putting their heads in the sand, so to speak. Kind of like an ostrich with their head in the sand. If I can't see you, you can't see me. That kind of thing. Hiding from the world. Because they were trying to hide from themselves. They were not wanting to face themselves. They were not wanting to take ownership, not wanting to take responsibility. And that was all due to fear. But now they are overcoming that. We had the Strength card on the bottom of the deck before. They're overcoming that. They are taming their ego. They are taming the fear within them and allowing themselves to be more stable, really rising to the occasion is what I'm hearing, and really learning how to balance out their wants, their needs with their material world. A material world being relationships, family, work. Before, it was a very skewed and unbalanced situation for these divine masculines. But now they're feeling much more grounded. They're feeling much more stable. And they really feel like they have a direction in life now. They really feel like they're moving forward towards something where before it just felt like their whole life had been dismantled. Their whole life had crumbled, beneath them. Now they're feeling much more positive, much more stable, like they have a purpose. They have a sense of who they are. They have a sense of where they're going. They have a sense of themselves. And that's what's really important here. They have a sense of themselves, or they're starting to have a sense of themselves. They're starting to have a sense of who they are, not just what people want them to be, not just other people's expectations of them, not just obligations, not just who they were, but who they are and who they want to become. They're starting to see that bigger picture here. They're starting to understand that bigger picture here. And what they just showed me was all these kind of coins falling out of his pocket. It's all of the old falling away, all the old beliefs, all the old patterns, all the old habits, all the old versions of themselves, all the old addictions or toxic behaviors or relationships that just don't serve them. All that is falling away, and they're allowing that to happen because they have a sense of direction now. And now they're ready to take action. But I feel like this is you. With the Queen of Wands here, I feel like this is really you holding that flame for them, guiding them, helping to guide them, and they're feeling that push towards you. It's almost like what I'm getting is you're over here, and even if you're in physical, commitment or connection with your counterpart, they're kind of seeing you. They always kind of put you on a pedestal, and they're kind of seeing you over here, and they're like, this is where I'm headed. Even if you're in the middle of building something together, even if you're in communication, even if you are, whatever it is, however your relationship is, if you're not in communication, this is still the progression. They're seeing you, and this is what they're working towards. This is what they're going towards. And you're kind of, on the path, holding the light for them. This is a stark, stark difference from a few months ago. A stark difference from maybe even a year ago. This is them really feeling so steady and so confident and sure of themselves, so stable and grounded. And it's like they've regained their footing is what I'm hearing. Regained their footing because of this shift in perspective. And a lot of it is because of this fiery, passionate pull towards you. Because you being the moon, you being that feminine energy, because they're tapping into their own feminine energy, because they're understanding themselves more, because they're loving themselves more, allowing themselves to love themselves. They're loving you, allowing themselves to love you and to want this connection. Okay, so curious, let's see, how are they actually seeing you, Divine Feminine? How are they actually seeing the Divine Feminine? How's the Divine Masculine seeing the Divine Feminine? Oh, the Death card, transformation. How is the Divine Masculine seeing the Divine Feminine? Whoa. How's the Divine Masculine? That's the second time I've seen the Four of Pentacles. And I was just given the message where before the Four of Pentacles was a very miserly energy, where it's like, these are my pentacles, I don't have anything to offer you. It was because they didn't have anything to offer themselves. It was because they had that one cup and they were just giving and giving and giving. And even if it felt like they were taking from you, Divine Feminine, they were giving to other people. They were giving their energy to other situations or people, things that just wasn't serving them. And that's really what they're letting go of. They're letting go of those habits, those behaviors, those addictions, those relationships, anything that was really draining their energy. And it might have looked like to you on the 3D and in the surface level and the physical, like they were taking from you and you were the one who was giving, but they were giving to others. They were giving to other situations. They were doing the same thing, but to people who were just, or places or situations or mindsets that were just draining their own energy. So they didn't have anything to give to you. So their own cup was empty. And they didn't know how to fill up on that self-love. That is what is changing. And so now they couldn't offer you anything. So that's where they were holding back. They were like, these are my pentacles. I don't have anything to offer to you. Now they're wanting to offer to you. Now they're offering their pentacles to you. Now they're recognizing their own abundance. And it's like almost like they're shifting into abundance mindset, saying, oh, okay, so if I have 4 pentacles and I give you 3, I'm not going to be left with just 1 pentacle. I can replenish that. That's the same kind of idea with love. It's like love just begets more love. They're recognizing that if I give to you, if I give you my love, I'm not going to be lacking love. I'm just going to be receiving and giving more love. There's just going to be more love all around. That's the energy and the mindset that they're shifting into now. Okay, so that message just came forth. Oops. Okay, let's get another card for, clarify the Death card for how are they seeing the Divine Feminine? Ooh, yes. Okay, so we have Death, 2 of Wands, and the Empress. So they are seeing you in your power. They are seeing you in your Empress energy. They just showed me the High Priestess. So this isn't just the Empress in the physical. They are seeing you as the High Priestess. They are seeing you as someone magical. They are seeing you as someone who is intuitive, who is very connected, who is just magical, mystical. That's just the phrase that they just keep giving me, magical, mystical. And again, it's almost like on a pedestal, but where they had put you on a pedestal now, it's almost like, it's not that you're coming down from the pedestal, it's almost like they're rising up to meet you on that pedestal. Because now this is very grounded. They're seeing you as very, where before you were that high priestess where you were like too far out of reach for them. Now it's like you're very human. Now you're very much there for them. You're very much accessible. And you might be saying, well, I was always accessible. You know, they put me on a pedestal, but I never wanted to be on the pedestal, that kind of thing. But remember that this is how they were feeling because of their own lack of value, because of their own lack of self-love and self-worth. So now that they're rising into the energy, they feel like they can match you and meet you. And how do I explain this Empress energy? It's almost like you were so far out of reach that they're like, I can't even talk to her. I can't even, how am I ever how can I have this connection? I can't even talk to her. She's so far out of my league, that kind of energy. But what's happening is because they're going through this transformation, because they're filling up on self-love, self-worth, self-value, what's happening, it's not that you're coming down, it's that they're rising up, but they're seeing you as divinely human. Okay, that's the phrase that Spirit just gave me, divinely human. So it's like you are still this mystical, magical creature, but this divine creature, but you're human, you're accessible, they can talk to you, they can reach you, they can love you and have this connection with you, but it's because of them. That's what I really want to get across. It's because of them. Like they're still seeing you as this Empress, this High Priestess, this beautiful goddess, but they're recognizing themselves now. And so that's where it's like, it's almost like they're like, okay, so she's the Empress, but I'm the Emperor, that kind of energy. And they're seeing you as balanced. They're seeing you as divine. They're seeing you as sovereign. They're seeing you as powerful and magical, that you are I'm hearing like a manifester, that you have beautiful abilities to dream and create and birth those dreams and creations into the physical with this Empress energy. They're seeing this. And that's the transformation. They're seeing you in a new light. It's like they had to put an end to how they saw themselves in order to put an end, or not to put an end, but had to shift how they saw you and how they saw you both in connection. And so this is almost like a progression here. It's like they had to go through this transformation within them in order to shift how they saw you, to feel like they were worthy of you, to feel like they could actually come towards you. With this Two of Wands, this is making decision to actually come towards you. And you see how the light is shining on this stag here? It's almost like that's you. That's that beautiful mystical creature. The light was just shining on you. Your light, it's not like your light is too bright anymore. Your light is a guiding light for them now, where before it might have been too bright for them. But it was only because they couldn't see that reflection within themselves. They couldn't see the light within themselves, and now they can. And so now they're like, I'm going to go towards that light. I'm going to go towards my divine feminine. Rather than being drawn away, they're being drawn to you. That's incredible. I'm going to continue with the divine masculine. I just want to get a romance angel and a message from them to you. And then we're going to move on to the divine feminine. Quick update for both tonight. And we will be back as I'm called to and as I have time to. We will definitely be back with some more check-ins. I want to do a more in-depth check-in and see what comes through. So stay tuned for that. Okay, how is the divine masculine feeling about the divine feminine at this time? How's the divine masculine feeling about the divine feminine at this time? How's the divine masculine feeling about the divine feminine at this time? I did get some new decks. So the next collective reading, I got the Light Seers, and I got this cute Love Oracle Cards deck. I did use it on the Patreon. But the next collective reading, I will use those decks to check in on the masculine and the feminine and your sacred union. So stay tuned for that. Okay, so we have express your love. How is the Divine Masculine feeling towards the Divine Feminine? Go ahead and make the romantic gesture. That's this energy here, because they're feeling much more stable, because they're feeling much more grounded and confident in themselves. They feel like they have something to offer. And because they are feeling in their feminine energy and feeling the pull of that feminine energy and that pull towards you, they're wanting to express their love for you even more. And this, I'm hearing, is verbal expression, and it's also a showcase of their love. So they might not be, it might not be like a undying declaration of love. It might not be, just spilling forth all of their emotions, but appreciate and accept the step by step, how your Divine Masculine is opening up, how your Divine Masculine is stepping into their feminine energy, and how that feminine energy is rising so that they are communicating more. You don't take breadcrumbs. In the very beginning of when I started channeling, the masculines were in an energy where they were just offering like breadcrumbs, and Divine Feminines were scooping those up. You're way, way, way beyond that. Both of you, you're way beyond offering that to each other. And trust your intuition to recognize that, to recognize when it is just breadcrumbs and when it is something sincere, even if it is small. You know by your intuition what is sincere and what isn't. Now, I don't want that to trigger anyone. I don't want you to get afraid. I'm just saying that as discernment. And by contrast of where we were in the journey and where we are now. This energy is not where we were. This energy is not that breadcrumbs. This energy is sincere. What I'm saying is it might be small. It might not be, that Hollywood declaration of love. But that's because your journey is still unfolding. Your journey cannot be truncated into a 2.5-hour movie. Your journey is still unfolding, and it's naturally occurring. It's occurring in divine timing. So recognize that it is sincere. It is a sincere expression of self. It is a sincere expression of their love towards you, even if it is small. And it's not going to be like minuscule. It might not be, something. It might be, flowers. It might be a dinner date. It might be, communication, a nice conversation. Recognize that. Trust your intuition and appreciate the moment. Appreciate where you are in the journey. Appreciate what your Divine Masculine is offering to you. Appreciate what you're offering to your Divine Masculine as well, because this is all part of the unfolding. So they are wanting to express their love, and I feel like for many of you, they already are expressing their love. And it's because they are shifting in their perspective and going through this transformation within, which is helping them to transform their connection with you. Okay? All right, so what we're going to do is we are going to go ahead. Oh, I forgot a message from your person. Let's get a message from your person. Okay, what does the Divine Masculine want to say to the Divine Feminine? What does the Divine Masculine want to say to the Divine Feminine? You want to come out? I love you beyond measure, see? That expression of love is not going to be without emotion. It's not going to be without sincerity. It is sincere. They're going to be expressing themselves as they're capable of at the moment, but that's where you have appreciation. That's where you have acceptance, understanding that you both are still going through this process of ascension. You're still going through this process of healing and clearing and transformation. So bring yourself back to the present moment. That has been a recurring message for my clients and for my collective. Always bring yourself back to the present moment. Appreciate the present moment. Accept the present moment. And know that through that acceptance and through that appreciation, you have the power to shift the energy going forward. If you're holding on to expectations for the future, if you're holding on to fears for the future and worry for the future and a certain outcome, if you're holding on to the past, anger, resentment, fear for the past repeating itself, then you're not being present. You're not accepting. You're not appreciating. Appreciate every moment. Appreciate the journey. Don't hold on so tightly to either other direction. Bring yourself back to the center. Bring yourself back to your point of power, which is that present moment. Because from the present moment is where you manifest. from the present moment is where you really are able to go within and tap into that connection, tap into the love. And the love is what shifts everything. The love, appreciation, and acceptance is what can shift everything. So trust in this. Trust that your divine masculine loves you and is wanting to express that love and is expressing that love. And trust that they're going through this beautiful transformation where they're shifting perspective, where they are opening up to you and this connection even more because they're opening up to themselves and their life and their future even more. Again, it's all about inner union. And just as you have gone through the process of inner union, that sacred union with the self, so is your divine masculine. And once you both go through that process of inner union, that is when you come together in that physical partnership, in that sacred union together. Beautiful. Okay. I am going to clear this and give it a couple of shuffles and see where you are, Divine Feminines. What's going on with you guys? And remember to take the energies as it resonates for you. Because you hold both energies within you, you might be resonating more with the Divine Masculine. You might be resonating more with the Divine Feminine messages. You know, you take them for how they are, or both. So you take them for how they are. Okay. So, Divine Feminine. What's going on with the Divine Feminine? Divine Feminine, please. I don't know what that was. There was a card that wanted to come out, and it didn't. And then all the cards came out. Let's try that again. Divine Feminines, what's going on with you guys? All right. Two of Wands. Decisions is what I just heard. Decisions to be made. What's that about? Divine Feminines. Divine Feminines. What's going on with the Divine Feminines? Let's get two more cards, please, Spirit. Thank you. Queen of Wands. And the Wheel of Fortune. Okay, so this is really interesting because this is, you have two of the same cards that the Divine Masculine had. And here you have the Queen of Wands, which remember in the Masculine reading I said was you. This is your energy here. Okay, so with the Two of Wands, I'm hearing decisions, and they're actually pointing me to the hawks up here at the top. And this is all about having that higher perspective. So Divine Feminines, hold on, I feel like there's something else here. Okay, I'm going to get a clarifier card for the Two of Wands because I feel like there's something else here. I feel like there's a separate message here. What's going on here with the Two of Wands, please? Decisions. What's this about the higher perspective? For the Two of Wands. Okay. All right. So, yeah. Okay. This is what I was getting. And we have the Three of Swords on the bottom of the deck. I'm going to take that as well. Okay. This is what I was talking about in the channel messages, where it feels like some old fears might be coming up to the surface, where you might feel a little bit imbalanced. Like you might feel some old heartache coming up. You might feel some old trauma coming up. And I'm actually getting a specific message. I don't know who this is resonating for, but I feel like somebody from the past has recently come into somebody's life. This could be for a very, very small segment, but there's a specific message coming in that somebody from the past, like a past relationship, a past boyfriend or girlfriend, has recently come back into your life, which has dredged up some old feelings. Whoever this is, this feels like this doesn't feel like it's just like nostalgia. This doesn't feel like it's just memories. This feels like it's very real. This feels like it's very tangible, like somebody actually like knocked on your door or something like that, or rang you or Facebooked you or something like that. So that feels very specific, but so take it as it resonates for you. But the overall message is there's old heartbreak, there's old trauma, there's old fears coming up. And what they're asking you to do is make the decision to look at things from that higher perspective. Because remember, you are the high priestess. Remember, you have that higher perspective. Remember that you have the tools to shift out of that fear and back to that place of love, because you embody love. Because you are that embodiment of love and intuition and feminine energy. So you have that power to shift that energy. You have that awareness now. You have that higher consciousness now to shift your perspective back into, this feels like moving away from fear and back into love. The Six of Swords being an energy of a card of moving into calmer waters after a period of conflict and chaos, especially mental conflict and chaos. That's this energy. That's what Spirit is saying. They're saying that you have the choice. You have the decision to make. If you're in this energy of Three of Swords, you have the ability and the power to shift your perspective and shift your mindset back into that inner peace, back into your knowing, back from the fear to the love again. Because you had been here. You had been in that energy of love and inner peace and balance. And it feels like there was some kind of tower moment. It feels like there was some kind of shakeup. And so that's what they're saying here. They're saying that you always have the decision to look at things from the higher perspective. And remember that the fear is the illusion. Again, that's where the higher perspective is coming in. The higher perspective offers truth. The higher perspective offers insight. The higher perspective offers that intuitive knowing. The higher perspective, they're saying, offers that love. So bring it back to that love. Okay. I thought there was another message there. But okay, so you are that Queen of Wands here. You are that, and I feel like you have felt recently like your fire has dimmed out a little bit, and it could be because of this situation here, where you feel like maybe you have been embodying that Empress, High Priestess energy, but maybe you felt like you got drawn back a little bit into the old version of you, where it felt like you were going through a little bit of a dark night of the soul, although it wasn't exactly a dark night. Maybe it felt like a psychic attack. Maybe it felt like you weren't going through, you weren't completely transformed. Maybe it felt like almost like your transformation didn't take. That's what I'm hearing. Like your transformation didn't take. It felt like your light had dimmed a little bit. But Spirit is here reminding you, again, to make the decision to look at things from the higher perspective, to focus on the love versus the fear, and to bring it back bring your fire back. Because this is who you truly are. This is truly you. You are passionate. You are fiery. Whatever sign you are. This is you as the Empress. The Empress embodies all four queens. And the Queen of Wands is somebody who takes action. Somebody who is confident. Someone who knows how to use the tools that she has to go forward in her life and in her connections, who isn't afraid. And I feel like you had stepped back into that fear a little bit, and that's where Spirit is coming in and saying, you still have that fire burning within you. That flame is still lit. Don't forget who you are. Don't forget who you've been. Don't forget how you've transformed. Just pull back. Illusion is very, very strong right now. That 3D matrix is very, very strong right now, because the universe, the planet as a whole is going through the ascension process. There's a lot of chaos and conflict going on as a planet, as a whole. This is within society. This is within our own family, friendships, relationship dynamics. There's a lot that is happening, but that's where they're asking you to draw back, pull back, and find that inner balance, find that inner peace again. And you do that by shifting your perspective to that higher consciousness again. That's really important, to have that awareness, to shift your higher consciousness. That's where your power is. That's where your light truly shines. That is where your flame is relit, by shifting to that higher consciousness again. And you do that from that higher perspective. You do that by being aware of it. You do that by making the choice. having that awareness to make the choice. I am choosing to embody my highest self. I am choosing to jump to my best and highest timeline. I am choosing to react in this way from a place of peace, from a place of balance, from a place of love. It all comes down to awareness. And that is how you shift forward with the Wheel of Fortune. And what they're actually saying with this Wheel of Fortune is that you have the support of the universe behind you. You have the support of your spirit team. You have the support of source energy behind you. You have the support of your counterpart even is what is coming in. You have, this being a major arcana, you have all that support behind you in order to keep turning the wheel forward towards your best and highest timeline, towards your abundance, towards your positive manifestations. It all comes down to the decisions that you make in every given moment. Again, your present point of power, what you talked about for the Divine Masculines, your present point of power, the present moment being the most important thing to remember. Be present, because that being present, not worrying about the past, not worrying about the future, being very present is what allows you to shift the energy towards a more positive direction. It's what allows you to shift your entire life in a more positive direction. And your life is just energy. Your life is made up of energy. What you see in your physical reality, in your physical world, is because of the energy that you hold within. So as you make that decision to look from the higher perspective, to shift your perspective and move from the fear and the anger and the low vibes and the lower consciousness into one of higher consciousness and peace and balance and love, that's how your life in the physical becomes more abundant. That's how you manifest all that positive stuff, whether it's a home or whether it's a relationship or whether it's, financial, whatever it is that you're manifesting. It's moving into a more positive direction, turning into a more positive direction because of the energy that you maintain within. And it can be vice versa. If you maintain a low vibe, you could be bringing in, lower vibrational stuff. But this is all, this is all about forward movement. This is all about choosing your best and highest timeline and maintaining that higher level of consciousness, embodying that higher level of consciousness, keeping that inner flame lit. Okay, so let's see how Divine Feminine is feeling about her Divine Masculine at this time. How is she seeing Divine Masculine? Oh, interesting. Okay. How is Divine Feminine seeing Divine Masculine? Divine Feminines, you might be... Oops. Yeah. You might be struggling right now to see your Divine Masculine in a more positive light. You might be a little bit guarded against them. You might be seeing them as a little bit guarded or defensive against you. You might be seeing them with this Five of Cups energy. You might be seeing them in this energy of looking back on the past. You might be looking back on the past at what once was. Almost like what I'm hearing is, my relationship with my Divine Masculine was better at this point in time. You might be feeling a little bit neglected. You might be feeling a little bit rejected. You might be feeling a little bit abandoned. With the Justice card, I do feel like this is all that old residual fear that's coming up to the surface. And they're saying that that's karma that is balancing out. Remember how I said in the channel message that I was experiencing this, oh my God, I can't talk. I was experiencing this as well, where it was just deeper and deeper subconscious wounding that was coming up to the surface, deeper and deeper subconscious fears and doubts that were still kind of lodged in there. That's all coming up to the surface. Allow yourself to feel this, but also, again, they're saying to shift your perspective and look from that place of love, because that love is what will balance this out. And what I'm actually seeing is the yin yang here. And so balance is being restored. You are going to shift your perspective and see your masculine in a more divine light, because as you clear out that fear within you, as you clear out that doubt within you, you're going to be feeling in a more divine light. And okay, so how do I explain this? The more at home you feel within yourself, the more you trust yourself, the more you love yourself, the more that's then reflected in your counterpart. So if you're feeling doubt, if you're feeling fear, if you're feeling anger or resentment, you're going to be looking through that lens at your divine masculine like that. And he or she might be reflecting that back to you. That's what's balancing out. The more you clear that out, the more you shift in your perspective to love, the more you're going to let down your guard, the more you're going to move on from the past and into a new phase of your relationship, the more you're going to come in from the cold and into the warmth of this love, of this sacred union, the more that's going to balance out because you're shifting the energy within you. And so when you shift the energy within you, and when you shift that perspective, the lens in which you see your masculine shifts and changes, and what's reflected back to you shifts and changes. So if you look at your masculine with love, you'll see that love reflected back. If you look at your masculine with anger and resentment, you'll see that guarded energy. You'll see that abandonment, that rejection. Again, that's that inner union. It all comes from you. That's the masculine energy within you. Don't forget that you hold both energies within you. And the same with your masculine. You know, if they're feeling lack, if they're feeling scarcity, if they're feeling abandoned, they're going to be feeling that or sensing that from you, reflecting that from you. It's all about perspective. It's all about mindset. If you look at life through a lens of love, love will be reflected back to you. The same with your connection. I really, really hope that I translated that correctly. I don't want to go to dive too deeply into the masculine and feminine energies. Again, the rise into sacred union will really explain the energy that I'm trying to translate here. Because it really is all about inner union. What you hold within is what's reflected back to you. Everybody is an aspect of ourselves, especially our sacred partner. And the more you look at your sacred partner or your life through that lens of love, the more that will be reflected back to you. But this energy is all about clearing out that fear and that anger and that abandonment and that rejection that you may have felt in the past. This really feels like there's some lingering past energy here that you might be projecting onto your divine masculine. That's the word, projection. It's like you're projecting that onto your divine masculine, and so that's how you're seeing them. But that energy is balancing out. Justice is being restored. The karma is being cleared here. And they're just asking you to shift your perspective back to love, back to one of peace and balance, because that is what will restore peace, balance, and love within your connection. Okay, so let's see how you're feeling about your person. How is Divine Feminine feeling about Divine Masculine? How's Divine Feminine feeling about... Oh my gosh, okay. That one went flying, and it's the wedding card. And wedding is my sacred union card in this deck. It says the situation involves marriage, union, sacred union. That's the energy that I get from this card. You want this sacred union. It's just the old residual soul sludge that has been locked in your subconscious, that is just coming up to the surface. And so you might feel a little bit wobbly. You might feel a little bit like one minute you're loving your divine masculine and feeling that connection, and the next minute you feel completely disconnected and detached, and like you're wondering what you're even doing on this journey. Come into balance with yourself. Connect back to yourself. Connect back to source. Shift your perspective. Look at things from that bird's eye view. Make the choice to look at things through the lens of love, because that lens of love is where truth really resides. And once you do that, then you'll not only come into sacred union within yourself and anchor that in, but you will see the truth of what it is that you want with your sacred partner. you will feel that sacred union again. You'll feel that within you. You'll feel that love, that connection with your person, because this is what you really feel deep in your heart. You feel that sacred union. You have that intuitive knowing. This is my person. This is what I truly crave. This is what my soul is longing for. It's longing to come together with my sacred partner, to come into sacred union with my sacred partner, to come into peace and balance and harmony and love with my sacred partner. It's just all this stuff that's kind of, it's interesting, because when I did this spread, I said, how are you seeing your divine masculine? How are you feeling about your divine masculine? And that's it. You're seeing them through a lens that is illusion filled. You're seeing them through that projection. Go deep within and ask yourself how you're really feeling. Go within that heart temple. Go within that sacred space within you. How you're really feeling is that love. How you're really feeling is that sacred union with your person. Clear this out. This is what's clearing out. This is what's coming into balance. This is what's clearing out as far as the karma. And the more you clear this out, the more you will have that sacred union with your partner. Okay. Let's see what feminines want to say to the masculines. What do the feminines want to say to the masculines? What does divine feminine want to say to divine masculine? I'm struggling to communicate how I feel. Yeah, you guys, okay, and this feels like guidance for you. You guys might be feeling detached from your divine masculine, might not be wanting to communicate with them, might be feeling all this residual lack of trust, lack of faith, even lack of love. It seems like a lack of love. And you might be not wanting to communicate or struggling to communicate this. You might even be struggling to communicate with yourself how you feel. You might be feeling like, I feel all over the place and I don't know why, that kind of thing. And so you might not even be able to communicate that with your divine masculine. You might say, I don't even know what I'm feeling, to your divine masculine. This is an energy of confusion. It's an energy of just, what I'm hearing is a need to go within, a need to go deep within, to be honest with yourself, to unlock those layers of fears, of heartbreak, of trauma, whatever it is that has to be clear, that is still just, I just keep getting this vision of like a vault that's like subterranean, that's just down, layers and layers and layers of like subflooring. You know how like in a bank there are vaults that are just, floors and floors and floors beneath the ground, beneath the first floor. That's just what I'm getting. It's like there's something that's just locked in a vault there in your subconscious that's just waiting to be cleared, to bring you to this place of love, bring you to this place of oneness, bring you to this place of connection. And that's what this feels like. This feels like you're right on the precipice, like you're right on the edge of unlocking it, and you just don't quite know how to communicate it to yourself or to your person, or that you don't want to talk to your person about it because you're doing this deep shadow work. Whatever it is, however it resonates for you. Remember, I'm reading for our general collective. This feels like there's something there that you're clearing right now. And it might be creating some kind of turmoil for you. It might be creating some kind of confusion for you. But understand that it is clearing, that you have the support behind you, that spirit's behind you helping you to clear this so that you can continue to move forward. And this is your guidance here. Allow this love to unfold perfectly. This is all happening in divine perfect timing. You're at a stage in your sacred union where you are going to the deepest level of yourself to unlock anything that's residual, any layer of programming, any patterning, any habits, any beliefs that are still kind of stuck down there. You're bringing that to the surface. You're unlocking and bringing that to the surface. And once you do that, by continuing to make the choice. It could be energy healing that helps to unlock this as well, but it's because it's in your awareness now. It's because you're making the choice to move from the fear and from that old programming, from that old conditioning, from those old beliefs, from that old pain. You're making the choice to move to love. You're unlocking it. You're clearing it. Because you're making the decision, because you're making the choice, you are moving forward in this connection and in this love. And you're helping it by doing that healing work, by doing that clearing work. Okay, this was a very long reading. I wanted to do a check-in for masculine and feminine energies, as well as get forth some channel messages, because there's been a lot happening, a lot going on. As you can hear, I'm having trouble communicating right now, getting the words out, getting the translations out. I just went through some massive healing myself. So I'm going to take a little bit of a break, but we'll be back next week with daily energy draws and with another collective reading. So make sure that you stay tuned to the channel for more. I'm sending you guys so much love, so much light, and I'll see you soon. Bye.